good day and good evening, and welcome back to Roulette Live with me, Chaiji, but you can just call me Kai. So, as usual, we'll be going around 3 hours, or try to at least get like 10 mentor roulettes. A thing that we tried last time, which I think we will do again, is if I end up queuing for like 5 minutes or more with nothing to show, I'll probably hop over to the other data center. Because as we discovered when we did this last week, while it wasn't like a permanent solution, what can happen is that you can hop over to the other data center to find that there are duties that need to be ran and there are no mentors to do them. So I hop over and get like 2 replacement duties, just bam bam, which would at least, speed up things a bit. Whether that makes it optimal, it's a different story, but I think we'll do that. And if we, of course, if the queue goes too long over on light, we'll hop back. A little bit of a trick to make things go a little bit faster. Now, also last time I mentioned that part of the reason why I've been going with specific jobs every week has partly been because a lot of my DPS jobs, especially, straight up were not actually geared to do Mentor Roulette. Mentor Roulette has an item level requirement of 745. So if you have, if you geared up your characters in the first rate tier and then just left them, just don't care anymore, then now you wouldn't be able to do Mentor Roulette, even if you had full best in slot in the first tier. So what I've done is I had a lot of tokens, and I mean, I ended up with a bracelet from Savage the other day. So I fixed some of my physical, some of my strength jobs gear. So tonight we're playing Monk. It's been a bit with Monk. Now, that said, hey Talima, hey Tessie, hey Misa, hey DPS, hey Rost, hey Zaf, hey Aradil, hey Kaj, hey Jen Monica, hey Bubumet, hey Ilana, hey Gyasel, hey Redmaster, hey Saras, hey Naomi, and hey Legend, hey Flems, hey Philippe, and hey Dan. Hope you're all doing very well. Hey Stroimex, hope you're doing well as well. Just checking on this, Legend, am I correct in you being named Legend 27 on the community Discord? In quotes. Hey Sally, hope you're doing well. Thank you for celebrating 21 months as part of the Cult of the Pixaros. That's a long time. DPS is surely guild has time. Oh, probably. Nick Kiev, hope you're doing well as well. The Legend 27, that guy raided my city. The reason why it stood out to me is because a good friend of mine, we used to communicate over Facebook Messenger, and in our little chat. The thing is, you can give people in the chat like that nicknames. Other people can see it, but you can choose a nickname for someone else. It's been a few years, but I believe when I was actually 27, that friend of mine in that conversation changed my name to Legend 27. So I was like, huh, that's weird. I was like, hey Sam, hope you're doing well. Now, I will queue when it says 44. Let's see if I remember how to monk. I was like, Sork, hope you're doing well. Boom. A 4-man duty. Okay, give it to me straight, Doc. Is it a guild test? Just tell me. Tell me straight. What happened to the other 26 legends? That's a good question. Maybe it's like Expedition 33. Doc, did you fall asleep? Give it to me straight. Tell me, is it a guild test? Did we get hested? We did not get hested. We got Mistwake. You know, good thing that I got some gear, huh? So the thing I've mentioned before when people ask about this is, oh, I actually goofed that. I didn't get my Fire's reply. Oops. Great start. We got this. But I usually start, when I do play Monk, I usually start with Lunar Solar. Because, the benefits of doing double Lunar may just fall flat if the rotation happens to play out. Like, if downtime happens to play out in such a way that, like, your perfect balance ends up drifting anyways, then you're basically sacrificing potentially a Phantom Rush for nothing. Whoa! The Cure 2 comes out. Oh dear. And there's a Living Dead that will time out, I think. Say forever. Compete we will. Not making that mistake twice. Oh, I should have used Six-Sided Star there. There's definitely something about bringing the damage here. Not gonna finish that perfect balance anyway. Hey Yansa, hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's a common problem that people are like, oh, but I need my 2-minute burst for the start of the fight, like for the boss fight, so I can't use it. I'm like, basically, I described this in my common mistakes DPS make video from back in Endwalker as the saving your cooldowns for the right moment, the saving it for a rainy day. The problem is, there will never be the right moment for your damage cooldowns. Just send it. Just heavy attack while he's mid-effing swing, right? You have to send it. Whoops. Hey Seraph, hope you're doing well. Walk up slowly and down smash. Precisely. Oh, the tank is grabbing it. Yeah, basically, as Sam kind of put it as well, I think, if everyone is doing the rotation correctly, then you will have your cooldowns back in time for the boss. The thing that can happen is if your party is too good, is that you instead get your 2-minute burst in the middle of the boss fight. But if you're getting your 2-minute back during the boss, then your party is doing enough damage that it doesn't matter. You're gonna be fine. You don't need to worry. Hey Liam, hope you're doing well. Yeah, there's of course, if the cooldown comes back near the end of a pull, then there is something to be said that are you getting full value out of the cooldown? If you're not, maybe hold it. I'll say Regal Star, hope you're doing well. There's never not a need to do damage. Also that, exactly. When's the right time to do damage? When there's an attackable target that needs to be killed. It's that simple. The answer's yes. Ooh. 233 Phantom Rush. It's pretty good. It's decent. My crit stat is not as high as I'd hoped because just token gear is a little weird like that. They always on. Hope you do we will. Oh no. I hate this! Like some more? Please. Weak. I should have used six-sided star there. Whoops. Fireball! Boom. Roar. Roar. Bork. This may be a little optimistic. And fireball! Hey! Also 240. Phantom Rush. Violence isn't the answer, it's the question. The answer is yes. Wow. The Noodle Horse. Hey, Soren. Hope you're doing well. Noodle Horse. Yeah, I'm probably not getting a better setup for a Fire's Reply finish the rest of this whole stream. Like, the boss ran away and then died to the fireball being flung at it. And then also, by the way, Phantom Rush for 233 and then Phantom Rush for 240. Pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't even have 3k crit. Oh, the healer's getting it. Nice. Sweet. Getting all of the procs out the door in time. Nice. In a world where you have a ranged DPS or something, so you could like AoE be the last pack or something. We're not in that world. But we could have been. But we're not. Hey Paul, hope you're doing well. And hey Peaches, hope you're doing well as well. I'm enjoying the raid tier. We're still in the... We only recently hit the Tyrant though. Okay, yeah, sure, jump to Narnia. Why don't you? I don't mind. Yep, that was not the right time for perfect balance. You can come in. What? You scared? Hey, in the sack boy. Hope you're doing well. Whoops. Phantom Rush! And then just Fireball. Fireball! Are you a wizard? I'm a muscle wizard. I cast Fist! Oh. Oh. Thanks. I've always wanted one of those. Yeah, the Thunderclap is pretty potent there. I will queue when it says 01. Copper Shark of Shame? Why shame? What did I do wrong? Oh. Oh. Collectible. Now bring on the guild tests. It missed wake entire evening to gear up. That would be funny. Bugman is close. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? It's the bump. It's the Buckman that goes bump in the night. That goes buck in the night. Buck. Say Neko Kawaii. Hope you're doing well. I cast Fireball when I remember to. It weirdly messes with me that Fire's reply is like you have 20 seconds to use it. Usually you have 30 seconds to use these kind of things. Oh! Are we getting an extreme? Place your bets! Make your choice. And the exact duration of Riddle of Fire to use it? Yeah, I know, but like for instance, Paladin uses Imperator and gets 30 seconds to spend their Requiescat. But technically Fight or Flight is only 20. What? Again? That's incredible. 2 weeks in a row. Weird. Hey Doug, hope you're doing well. This is the one and only 8-man guild test. Hey, Bronto. Hope you're doing well. Didn't know it existed. That is actually part of the reason why it's so rare. Like, one part is that it's an 8-man duty in a 4-man roulette. Another separate part is that it's it's the last guild test. So a lot of people straight up just don't have it. Understandably. And you know, a lot of the time when people are actually queuing guild tests, it's more likely they're queuing for specifically under the armor or something. If they're doing more than one. It is one of the rare guild tests that you can actually fail. Why am I getting the tank cards? Huh? I am the tank now. Take this. Take this, Cryer's Longbeard. That doesn't have a beard. It's really weird to call him that without a beard, isn't it? Example says, I just tanked Aurum Vale on Bard because our tank disconnected after the first boss. And you didn't, like, eventually kick them? You just progressed onward and didn't mind? Say Asymmetricon, hope you're doing well. Just put on Fists of Earth and become tank. Ah, the good old days. Monk, become tank! Malice, become flesh! No, come back! You must die! Don't run, come on! Uh-oh. Oh, he used a defensive cooldown. I don't remember this taking so long. Ever. We did it! I will queue when it says 04. And not only was it a bit long, the things you have to protect were like, they were taking damage. And yes, that was a conjurer at level 41. That probably explains a lot. Hey, goal, hope you're doing well. And yeah, it is Monk Day. I fixed my gear yesterday on my strikers, so that we can play some monk without being bad. I guess it is possible that you could have done all of the guild tests without having unlocked, without having done Ifrit. Long as a good roulette job. It is one of the jobs that fare better at any level, but it's still weird at level 50. But yeah, so far our results are expert roulette and guild test, but specifically a solemn trinity. Like, we actually drew like the secret rare. Oh, another 8-man. Is it solemn trinity again? Place your bets. It's... Ooh. 012N. Yeah, it's a good fight. And good music. Hey, Grim Raven. Hope you're doing well. The fight is alright on normal. It can wipe you. Like, that's at least something. It's not very good at it, but it can technically wipe you. It can. Whoa, whoops. When you just blindly dash into the circle AoE. Hey Demonics and Savvy, hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're specifically doing mental roulette, Sadie. I do this like once a week. Yeah. I'm tanking it. I goofed it, guys. Well, save it with a Celestial Revolution. Speaking of, he can wipe you. I'm tanking now. Both tanks were not tanking because the one that were died. Oh man. Oh boy. Gunbreaker check? Well, I mean, the Gunbreaker doesn't want to tank, it seems. I'm not tanking anymore, that is true, we made it. Any Necrophits? Hope you're doing well. Try to fix it one more time so we can get the tornado kick where we want it. Do you want to separate the Omegas when they split? Not immediately. They will eventually use an ability that makes them stronger if they're closer together. And then you want to split them. And like they usually do it immediately once they're both on the field, but you don't you're not exactly worried about it instantly. There's also the part that they immediately put up an effect that makes it so that you can only hurt one of them. So there isn't really a point in keeping them stacked. Are we not gonna make... Oh, we are gonna make this, I think. I think we'll be fine. This is a... It's going to be really down to the wire with that many deaths all at once. We did it! Now it'll be... Whoops. Well, we only have one tank. Oh no. So see, here now, you kind of have to make sure you're attacking a specific one. And you can see so far they don't have the effect that makes them stronger by being closer together. Now they do. Technically, this is sufficient. Impressively, this is enough. I think a tank is gonna die. I will die. For the team, potentially. Someone's gonna die over there. And that was that. I am telling you, there's a reason why I do believe I included this one as an honorable mention or some such in my normal raids video. Randomly, they just get you. Oh boy. Yeah, what tends to get people early in the fight is the untelegraphed knockback. If you get further, it's just like the mix of things and a lot of confusion. Like for instance, oh, the bosses have to be separated is surprisingly effective at getting you. If you're not paying attention. And there's also just a lot of AoE damage. Like the boss actually does a decent amount of just damage. Just classic, good old damage. And a lot of it is untelegraphed. I am actually impressed by how wrong this is going. Necrophit says, it's nice to see the party did not learn from the first attempt. Yeah, that's the best, right? Hey Silva, hope you're doing well. And Wolfkin, hope you're doing well as well. For all that is holy, move more out! If that's the lady, we have a problem. Thankfully it isn't. But man... Late discount support. Hope you're doing well. Oh, whoops. Kaboom! That was a cure 3, and the white mage is completely out. Something is going wrong on the healing department at the very least. And on the damage department there's also something weird. Look at the HP difference. I don't think I've ever been that far ahead than the other team. That is ridiculous. thankfully, they don't seem to have a harden rage or something where they just start... like, it looks like it does have something because he's just spamming raid whites now. I think this is one of those times where I don't think there's any commendations to be given. Man, that was ridiculous. I commend Omega F. She got a lot of kills. I mean, that fight was quite an Omega F. Hey, Froggy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, you could say that. Definitely worked for that one. I mean, it was fine, but I just don't think anyone did anything commendable. Sam says, would have given it to the Black Mage myself, who seemed to be pumping the damage on their end. Maybe. The thing is, I didn't notice. So I was actually thinking, I didn't see what the Black Mage was doing. But if the Black Mage was on the other boss, then the Black Mage was either dead for a lot of time, or they weren't pumping that hard. And if they were on my boss, then that explains why we were so far ahead. Anyway, I will queue when it says 47. That's also true. There was a moment where the Black Mage got aggro. I should have commended the Black Mage. Well, oh well. Give it to the Sage, the glue that held the ship afloat? Maybe. They definitely were the one that used LB on the first pull. I don't know. You're probably right. You are probably right. Kohealer was a brink of death cure bot. That's true. That is true. Oh yeah, I'm sure what's gonna happen is I'm gonna see the footage and realize that the only ones that that knew what they were doing was the Sage, me, and the Black Mage. I didn't notice the cure 1, but I did notice the cure 3 and a white mage with no MP. That was what I noticed. But it is a difficult fight to heal, actually, for a normal. Are you ready for this epic 1-2-3 combo? Look at me. I'm the tank now. What's really, really funny about duties that are basically like one single fight at this level is that you only get one steel peak. Stun. Hey. Now we can get away by the turtle. No. I will queue when it says 57. I think Ilana's new meta strat for the points redeeming is gigantifying the manatee restored emote when there's short breaks. I see discount support. There is a slight difference because at level like 10. You literally only have one step 1, one step 2, and one step 3. And you get, like, at level 15, you have one OGCD for a whole battle. Just one. So it's extra bad that it's just 1, 2, 3s. And it's not until level 60 that the job really turns into something that isn't just 1, 2, 3s. I think you can gigantify an emote with challenge points? You cannot? Oh, you may be right. I thought that you could do that. Have I been missing Ilana just giving mega support every time? I'm very, very sorry, Ilana. How could I do that to you? I don't think that is something I can change. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to trick anyone. Or miss anyone. Yeah, then highlights is I guess a good one. I haven't found something that I can do that I can easily set up that could be used for channel points. That's the reason why I haven't done anything. I don't know what to do with it. I'm not like a VTuber where I could make like a redeem that could remove my hair. Or something weird like that. Although that would be wild, wouldn't it? There we go. I don't think the tank was actually aware that there was a duty failure on the line. Because they seemed to stop attacking when I said the duty actually fails if you kill it. Nice, Silver. A redeem for show us an object or figurine. Oh, that could be funny. Show us manatee redeem. I could do a manatee hat redeem. Sounds personally, I don't like audio redeems. I don't either. That is kind of the reason why I haven't done anything in that department. Yeah, as I was just saying, Stroymex, you basically wrote your message as I was saying it. That I'm not the biggest fan of sound redeems because it really gets a little strange. It gets a little bit much for a lot of people. Have a spin the chair. You know my headphones are wired, right? Anyway, I will be right back, and then we will continue. In the meantime, sanity restored. Speaking of which, thank you for the bits, Ilana. A routine to pet deputy. I'm telling you. The addition of the purity, how similar it looks to a manatee plushie. If it came out that they were like, oh yeah, we saw this guy that has this thing with a manatee plushie and we thought that was funny, so we made that. Like, they could absolutely convince me that they made it for me. Manatee cam redeem. A redeem for did you know? A fun fact redeemer, that would be really hard eventually. I will queue when it says 55. Fun fact, I've run out of fun facts. Fun fact, look at this bag where I have my fun facts. Teaches a word in Danish could be fun. Oh. Would you like a Danish word, Mistel? Hope you're doing well, by the way. And hey, Obama, hope you're doing well as well. You should hire a guy to stand behind you with a big gong and hit the gong as a redeem thingy. Just a guy just standing there for the whole stream. People are like, what is that, like, 100k redeem for? No one has that. You'll know eventually. Enjoy the concert, DPS. Is there a Danish word for ley lines? No. A plunger? Det er en swupper. It is a swupper. Which, when you think about what it kind of sounds like to use it, it kind of makes sense, right? Hey, Graffel. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. That explains. Thank you. Well, you certainly got my attention. This is your chance to make the Danish word for ley lines. Nope, I have no idea. Lego lines. Lego linjer. Is there a prize for the bingo? Nope. It's just for bragging rights. Basically, the story of the bingo cards is that there were so many like repeating things in mental roulettes that people started like basically saying like, for instance, if I brought up World of Warcraft, people were like, up the bingo. Because like certain things would come up so much, and then Ariel went and actually made a bingo, like a little bingo thing with like possible things to check off, and then I think Kobold made like just grabbed those and just made like 50, and all of the things on it are, you know, a gradient from extremely common to rare things that regularly come up on mental roulettes. Like, for instance, I believe there is one on the bingo that is specifically Ifrit, Garuda, and Titan appear in a single stream. Alana, I think I think the trick there is I'd probably just reuse a fun fact that I already know for those. Oh no, Agent Monica! Ow, my eye! Not even a 5,000 gil pot? I mean, Storymix, you could do whatever you want. Basically, if, like, let me put it like this, Stroymix. There are certain things that if you ask me for them, I have just handed them. Some people have randomly asked if they can have some cherry pink dye, and if they ask, you know, reasonably, I will regularly just go, yep, just hand them some. And cherry pink dye, while not utterly expensive, is not cheap. So what's the value in a 5k gil bingo pot when I would just give you the equivalent of twice that without even blinking? Just, yeah, sure. I was like, Gramp, hope you're doing well. So that's kind of the reason why there isn't a prize for the bingo. Can I have one piece of Gil signed by you? Well, I can't sign Gil, Tongue, so no. Way back, like, I would say way over a year ago at least, maybe 2 years ago at this point, probably 2 years ago, I made, like, a bunch of, specifically, this top, and the aiming version, because they look like the classic, like, just that piece alone will make you vaguely look like my character a little bit by just wearing that. made a bunch of them and I crafted them because then it would say that I made it. So basically I had signed them and I gave them to people that showed up on stream. Like people that came to me on stream like, have you gotten one? Here you go. Just hand one. But it eventually came to the point where there was like enough people that showed up that I was like, I don't know who has received one and who hasn't, and if I'm handing people one, they might take it, not necessarily because they want one, but because they feel like it's rude to refuse the gift, and that would be, like, that's also awkward. So I just ended up not doing it anymore. Because it became a little, it was a little bit much. But I could make some of those. The big problem is that if you put it in your glamour dresser, the signature disappears. So you you can't actually use it as a glam piece. Unless you're like carrying it around. Equipped a retainer. I think that would work, yeah. So, hey, Brian and Deadman. Hope you're doing well. Speaking of DC hopping, I will hop over to Light now. That was 7 minutes. Yeah, I basically led with this tongue that if I sit in the mentor roulette queue for over 5 minutes, I will switch to the other data center. To try and see if we can reduce the wait time a bit. It worked reasonably well last week, so we're gonna try it again. But I will also say on the bingo thing that has anyone gotten a bingo yet? I think there has been like one bingo. Can I solo 14 while using the Kai signed gear? I will go to Summerford Farms, by the way. For anyone who's like, oh, I'm coming over too! Oh god, has abandoned us. Oh no! Ilana has had 2 bingos. Oh. But I'll say if you just walked up to me with the materials to make such an item, like for instance the top that I mentioned, I would make it, no problem. I would even put some dye on it, but it would be cherry pink dye. Neon pink is too expensive. Like legitimately, it's really expensive. Right. I will queue when it says 15. I'm aware that that gives people very little chance to actually catch me, but the first one I'm probably a replacement for something. If we're speaking from last week's adventure. No. Has the world abandoned us? The reason why cherry pink dye is not that expensive is because there are many ways to get it, including but not limited to Island Sanctuary. That's the reason why I have like 800 of them. I have enough currency for the Island Sanctuary that I think I could possibly buy another 1,000 if I wanted to. But then they added neon pink and I'd rather use that one. But that one, so far, I believe, is still only from Cosmic Exploration, which I don't really do. Which means that it's very expensive. The Ink Bubba, hope you're doing well. Yeah, it is weird that you can't just, like, slider your hair color. I'll say, Paul Mac, hope you're doing well. Discount support says I just pill for the FC chest where all the cosmic reject items get sent to. Does Neon Pink get sent to there? Tongue says Jet Black and Pure White are still around that mark. Part of the reason for that is that Pure White and Jet Black are particularly effective for a lot of outfits, and they are basically only from random drops. Which is surprisingly effective at increasing the price of stuff. Like, I've mentioned this before, there was a hairstyle, I think it's called Early to Rise, that used to be exclusively a rare drop from the Lubrum Reginae. It was like 10 million gil for a while. And then eventually it hit a point where people stopped buying it. Like, the demand had reached a point where there were no more people willing to pay 10 million gil for that hairstyle. So it gradually dropped to 9 million, it started to drop to like 8 million, maybe 7 million, like slowly. Oh, thank you. And then Zatnor released, which included a way to just buy the hairstyle, and then it just went down to like 100k, like that. Like within a few days. As it turned out, a very expensive item being easily acquired suddenly makes the price drop. It appears that both data centers' mental roulette is forsaken. Hey Jextus, hope you're doing well, and thank you so much. Can you bless my mental roulette? It seems like it's broken. But yeah, exactly, discount support. What happened? Oh. Oh. A new friend. Like basically the demand had been met to the point where there wasn't people left to buy it at the high price tag, so the price started to dip, and then the game just went, how about we make the supply like 100 times greater? What if we did that as a joke? It's absolutely crazy. Oh. Game is alive, guys. Game lives. Oh. Actually, I'm not sure if this counts as game alive. I do believe this is the mob rush. You wise and implacable judge of our duties, grant us your blessing. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum. Falcon kick! I should be using Rock Breaker there. Hey Shaq, hope you're doing well. Yeah, we are back on Alpha. After queuing for like 7 minutes. Dip. Hey, Matthew. You were here earlier. Hope you're doing well, though. Is Sage still your favorite healer and why? I like barrier healers, but I also enjoy White Mage a lot more now. There isn't really that much to it. It's just I like the feeling that there's a little bit more options on the barrier healers in a way. Tornado kick! Blap! Totally unnecessary. Kaboom! Spin! Oh. Dead! Kill that guy! Take this! Haha! Ow. Thank you, Rust, and enjoy your evening. And hey, Alejandro, hope you're doing well. And hey, Kyrios, hope you're doing well as well. Yeah, this is quite something. The consolation prize of normal raids. It's the game saying you shouldn't have done that. We asked for the blessing for the mental roulette to work. The blessing worked, mental roulette popped, but at what cost? But at what cost? Bonk. Ow. Yeah, I'd rather have this than under the armor, that is true. But this is still a little bit, meh. A little bit meh. A little bit meh. A little bit meh. Show the paladin. Boop. Boop. I will queue when it says 34. What's the weather, guys? Wind. Let me just read that in more detail now that I'm not doing a mob rush. Inkbobber says, I can't play White Mage very well, and I'm not sure why. I'd much rather hop on Sage and be proactive. I get told White Mage is easy all the time, but Sage just clicks with me. Sage and White Mage, I would say, are the easier healers in the lineup. They're the easier one in each of their categories. The thing is, the things that make White Mage difficult are, for the most part, the same things that make Astrologian difficult, because it's a more reactive healing. It's not necessarily exclusively reactive, but let's just say that if you're a pure healer, the tank dropping to half HP is not really a cause of concern. The tank dropping to like 40% or even 30% is also still something where you're like, meh, as long as you have a cooldown, of course. Like that's where you start going, I didn't misread that. I do have an OGCD, right? But the moment the tank drops below that, you just problem solved. On a barrier healer, the tank dropping below 50% is a cause for concern, because it is extremely expensive to fix that. Like, Sage can use, like, Zoe Nigma and just heal everyone for a bunch, but that is a 2-minute cooldown. And both Sage and Scholar can fix it by, you know, just throw everything. But then what do you do? Which is to say, in a funny twist, both Sage and Scholar, the barrier healers in, like, a dungeon context, are more actually the maintenance healers. Like, you're basically keeping the healer keep the tank healthy all the time, rather than letting them drop low. Rants as well. Scholar just spam Lust Rate a bit and all problems solved. Correct, but at high levels, Lust Rate, 1, even 3 Lust Rates may not be enough. And if you spend all your Lust Rates, then you can't use Sacred Soil or XCOG. Which means that now you don't have anything if the tank drops low again, and if they drop low once, they're probably gonna do it again. So it's just easier to use your other tools. Like, for instance, it is less likely the tank would have dropped low in the first place if the Scholar just plopped down Sacred Soil, because Sacred Soil heals for a grand total of 600 potency. That's right, the same as a Lust Rate, just in AoE, while also reducing damage taken by 10% for, like, 18 seconds? Yes, it's a little jank, but it lasts longer than you'd think. So just a 10% mitigation while also doing a Lust Rate on everyone for the cost of 1 Lust Rate. And XCOG heals for even more. So basically, you can spam Lust Rate, but it basically solves the problem right now. And then you have a problem if the fight isn't over in a moment. Ooh, more max level content, and Ilana's here. Fantastic. Why is 2 barrier healers considered powerful in high-end duties? Just because spamming a lot of mitigation is very effective.
Will the unenhanced warrior be able to contend with this chimerical foe? My word. He's used his feral powers to manifest a weapon.
I didn't need to use 6-sided star there.
Oh, a brutal blow! But the contender is standing firm. Oh dear! Fiendish flora have sprouted from the scattered seeds!
Fun fact, on normal you don't have to kill anything here. As far as I recall anyway. You do have to stop some of them. But this Petrify works on them. And they don't have a soften, like an enrage of some sort.
Oh my! Even the cameras have been petrified, and now they're crashing down all around!
Hey Raiders! Hey Yema! Hope you're all doing very well. We're in a bit of a mental roulette. So hello to the Raiders you brought. Steak and Millicent. Hope you're doing well too. Oh, whoa, I need to catch this train here.
We should just rival flying! What fearsome strength!
Thank you. What were you up to in your stream, Emma? Did it go well?
Goodness me, the brute abominator is hanging on the building!
Ow.
He's bounding from wall to wall.
Whoa! Oh, nice! You're also unlocking mental roulette. That you know that is very fitting for a raid then on on me doing mental roulettes. I prefer doing this fight ranged.
The rooftop has caved in. Such devastation. We'll send cameras in there at once. The destruction appears to have started a fire.
A fire! Fire!
Alari, the blue bomber must still be in there somewhere.
I'll join on these mobs here, I think.
The true power of this monstrous fusion.
Oh, that's solved. Oh, right, there's that.
What a thrilling battle this, and it rages on.
Yes, hope you're doing well. Do you have a favorite melee DPS? Is it Monk? My favorite melee DPS is Viper, but I also enjoy Monk. But we're playing. That's what. But we are playing Monk today because it's been a while since I've played anything but like the particular jobs that I play the most.
It's all over. Until next time.
Good. I think there was someone who knew me in the party. Because they took a picture of me. Something happened at least because I got 3 commendations for that. It was Shad. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I will queue when it says 20. But that's good to know, Emma. Depending on when I normally end stream, who knows? Maybe I'll check back in on you. But I usually like to watch people doing MSQ, progging some Savage maybe, but also, you know, Mental Roulette could be fun to look at how other people do it, and you know, unlocking everything also kind of counts. Oh, Kieran says 20 for gets to. You're right. Thank you for the reminder. Thankfully, it looks like I didn't miss anything. Strymax says, I tried to get enough people for Ultimate Weapon hard. Do you mean Ultimate Weapon? Do you mean Ultima's Bane? Speaking of proc, if you cleared the new tier, we recently reached Tyrant. Sudden Kayak session interrupting roulettes. Yeah. Yeah. Are you able to double weave on Monk? Because I just barely can't. I can double weave on Monk. On EU data centers. Yeah, I'm progging in a static ramp. Actually, I do Savage raiding on stream every week. That is the Savage raiding that I do with my static. So if you like, there should be a playlist where you can see our whole prog through the current Savage tier, and you can also check the last 2 raid tiers if you want. Stream the whole thing. And there's definitely been days and weeks where it went better and worse. But we have not progged off stream. Hey Yannick, hope you're doing well. Yeah, basically, on Monk, I would say double weaving becomes difficult or impossible. Like, difficult to impossible if your latency is... Like, it already starts to get awkward at like 50. Maybe around 80, it starts to get really difficult. The reason is that when you do an action... I have a video where I describe this in more detail, but when you do an action, you're locked into that action for like 0.6 seconds, roughly. And then there's, your latency added on. But there's also an additional delay from the server that varies a bit. But if I remember correctly, at its best, which by the way is when you're in duties. Yes, it varies depending on what content you're in. If you're in a duty, it is at its peak when it's the best is at around 30. It can rise to around 40, I believe, due to various things, including but not limited to moving, which means if you've ever noticed that it feels like multi-weaving can be harder if you're moving, one part is that, fingers doing multiple things, but another part is that the game actually is like processing more things from you, which means that it might delay your actual actions. Can I check ping on consoles? I don't think you can check directly, but what you can do is you can start up a PC on the same network and then ping the servers to see what your connection would be from the PC. It should be the same. But because you add that 30, it means that if your latency is, for instance, 20 ms, then I think it's around 80, but it might be more. That should be a problem. The key is that if you multiply the actual animation lock you have by 3, if that number is greater than your GCD, then you can't double weave without clipping, at least not reliably. Thank you, Ardell. So that would be why. There's a good chance. Well, it depends on where you are in the world, I suppose. There's a good chance that your ping to other games might be similar, but I think that depends on where you are in the world, as I said. In America, it could vary heavily because some games have servers closer to you. Whereas in the EU, most games, in my experience, like, have a tendency to have their servers hosted in Germany or maybe France or the Netherlands, which are relatively central. The reason why Germans can have a latency of like 8 or 5 in Final Fantasy XIV is because ding, German servers. The permanent Aussie? Oh. And you're not playing on OCE? Guys. Where the people at? Yeah, exactly, Sally. The problem basically is on the NA side of things is that it is wide enough that you probably would need multiple servers, like sprinkled across the land. Like, I'm pretty lucky that I'm just in Denmark, so most games are, you know, in Germany or thereabouts. Hey, Ilya, hope you're doing well. Oh, great, Mentor Roulette. We love you, we cherish you, we praise you, and yet you don't give us the sweet joy of a duty. Why? In before it gives us A2 in again. Say, GVC, hope you're doing well. I'm glad to hear that. I can't remember which one, but I have a video, at least one video. I think it is one of my more recent Mythbuster videos, potentially, where I go into detail about how exactly animation locking works. It's really weird. And I even demonstrate. What's the longest you've had to wait for a Mentor Roulette pop? I think I have one time waited like 15 minutes. But case in point, I think we're going back to Chaos. So last week, we're going back to Chaos, guys. We're going home. Last week, we had like a 7-minute queue or something, and then we hopped over to Light, and then like we had decent queue times for the rest of the evening. This time, we had a 7-minute queue on Chaos. I went home. Oh, by the way, small Kai. I went like so now we're on Light, and it queues for 7 minutes again. So now we're going back to Chaos. It doesn't seem like it necessarily made that much of a difference. So I think we're just going to stay on Chaos. Thank you, Aerodil. In case you're looking for the video, GBC, I think Aerodil just yoinked the video out from my catalog right there. Not trying OCE? No. Yeah, we're heading home again, Shaq. I think we're staying on Chaos now. It was a test, because last week it was like, have you tried queuing on Light? Because the queue might be better. We hopped over to Light, and incidentally, the queue was better. This time, Light has failed us too. Our god has returned, as the prophecy foretold. The return of the pink lizard. ARC, hope you're doing well. Are you sure you don't? The ping over... Sure you don't the ping over 300. I don't like the 300 ping, no. Smolkai. It could be a bit of both, Taldemar, because Miso said something similar when I hopped to light. UVC says 300 ping sounds about average for me, hence my issues. Yeah. And the funny thing is that a common misunderstanding about the ping is that supposedly, a lot, like I even believed this, that the animation lock was, you know, 0.6 plus twice your latency. But the whole thing with like the added around 30 ms happens to be roughly the latency that a lot of players that would see this as reasonable would have. So that's basically, it's basically the actual animation lock is like 0.6 plus your latency plus a constant, almost. But if the constant is almost roughly the same as your actual ping, which is like more variable, then it might look like it's just 2x the variable. But if you go over to OCE, you will be immediately like, no, that can't be right, because my animation log is not over a second. I will queue when it says 38. And yeah, that is correct, Sally. The constant is exactly processing time, which is also the reason why the constant is higher if you're moving, because then you're sending more information to process, or if you're in less extreme content. Like specifically, if you're just like here, just practicing on a striking dummy, you will have the worst latency, or the worst constant. Oh, there we go. One of the scholars says, oh, hi, I know you. How mobile would you say Black Mage is relative to, like, Red Mage nowadays? Black Mage is very mobile. Many would probably say that Black Mage is the second most mobile mage right after Summoner. Red Mage is these days considered the least mobile mage. However, very important that you hear this, because I think Cat would strangle me if I don't mention it. Red Mage is also very mobile. Because a lot of people hear that Red Mage is the least mobile, and then they assume that it means that Red Mage is like a pillar that can't go anywhere. Not at all. It's just someone has to have the least mobility. Someone has to have it. I'll say, Cat. Hope you're doing well. And that basically, Obama, the key is that some other mages have gotten a lot of mobility, while Red Mage has not changed nearly as much, but it's fine, perfectly fine. And yeah, most of the mobility quote-unquote issues can be solved with skill. Considering the amount of, I think, first-timers, I'm actually impressed that the orbs were solved so perfectly. And the tanks as well. What is this? Did everyone do their homework? Hello? I should have used Thunderclap. Just shows you how little I play Monk on the Rex. I didn't even think about the fact I could just Thunderclap to the Paladin there. Worth it. Worth it. Worth it. We have won. There's nothing you can do, Ultima Weapon. I have the high ground. I've said this before. You could sacrifice all of the DPS to solve that mechanic, and it would be worth it. Because if you just have a tank, maybe 2 tanks, and like a healer, then there's nothing that can be done from the boss's side of the field to actually stop you from winning if you beat that last wave of orbs. So I would gladly die for that. Extremely clean, considering I think it looked like a... Well, actually, let's see here. I didn't see any achievement pops. Is there an achievement for beating that duty? Oh, nice, Yannick. Say, Jeff boy. Hope you're doing well. I will queue when it says 34. You get a second chance point? Oh, yes, I did. Well, I don't know how many first-timers there were, but there were like 6 people that seemed to have to click out of the cutscene. But most people knew what they were doing. Like, did you see that? That was amazing. They read the guide. You know, maybe. Fantastic. It is what we like to see. But yeah, basically all the mages, like specifically Summoner, has so much mobility that Summoner has to plan when they are not moving. Meanwhile, the 3 other mages, to some degree, have to plan when they're using their mobility tools. But Black Mage and Pictomancer, their mobility tools are very flexible. Like, Black Mage doesn't really, like, for the most part, they have enough mobility tools that they're using one for a very small damage gain with, you know, UI1B3 Swiftcast shenanigans and that. But they get a lot of mobility just for free, and all of it is, you know, no questions asked. All full mobility, you just do whatever you want. And the same for Pictomancer. And Pictomancer can also do stuff like Swiftcast a motif to run like 4 seconds at a time. And they also have the dash. Black Mage has Ethereal Manipulation. For comparison, Red Mage, like their best mobility, like the most concentrated mobility is their melee combo, and you know, about a portion of that requires melee range. Which means that it does come with a little bit of strings attached. It also doesn't help that that's also their best attack, so they might want to hold it if they can. Basically, the reason why Red Mage is considered to have the worst mobility is that their mobility options are a lot more like they're complicated compared to the other mages. But that doesn't mean that Red Mage is lacking in mobility. It just means that you have to be smart. Which is, of course, a huge problem. What? You're telling me that I need brains for this video game? Exodia says, is Swiftcast not mobility? It is. But all 4 mages get Swiftcast. So one having it doesn't really count for anything. It's like, yeah, we all have it. The reason why Pictomancer Swiftcasting a motif is something to highlight is that it can get more value out of it. Ooh. Oh, you meant dual cast? Yeah, dual cast is mobility, but imagine if every time you wanted mobility, you have to stand still for at least 1.5 seconds. Sometimes there isn't time to do that. Like, it's the same as a black mage can slide cast for like they can actually, if you do it smartly, you can move a whole second for each spell you cast as black mage. Oh, the warrior knows me. Nice. Like, you could move a whole second for each cast. Because, you know, there's the slide casting window. But if you have to actually move as a black mage, then you do not have time to cast for 1.5 seconds and then move for 1 second, then cast for 1.5 seconds, then move for 1 second. And red mage, in those situations where you have to, like, move it now, also don't have 1.5 seconds to cast something. But yeah, if you're smart about it, if you're moving long distances over a longer time period, then it's not a problem. In those cases, red mage essentially has like a giga slide cast compared to what black mage has. So it is essentially like these kinds of conversations. What makes them really complicated is that the true answer is like it depends on the shape of the mobility you need. And I think the main reason why red mage ends up being the least mobile mage is because the specific shape of their mobility is not as helpful when you need to move a lot compared to the other mages. A specific thing that I do remember hearing is that that for M11 S, of course, Tyrant in the current raid tier, red mages specifically had a bit of complaints about needing to move a ton. That is, of course, a skill issue, because the complaints, I feel like, has died down with time, and of course the more dedicated red mages have like, once they figured it out, basically switched to no, it's not a problem, you just have to be good, you just have to be not bad, and then problem solved, Lamau. As is tradition, right? All you have to do is get good, and then it's easy. So if you ever, like, if you're choosing this based on, well, I want a more mobile mage, then I will say right now that the difference in mobility between the 4 mages is small enough that if that's the reason you're, like, if that's the reason you're choosing one over the other, then at that point you might as well just pick whichever one you think looks coolest and call it a day. The main thing that makes Black Mage feel very stiff and immobile is that a lot of the mobility for Black Mage is basically... The basic rotation of Black Mage is very simple when it really comes to it. But it's not very mobile. It's not very good at moving when you suddenly have to move. It just isn't. Like, basically, the difficult part is figuring out how you access the mobility when you need it suddenly on the fly, and what you can and can't do, and what things are good and what things are bad, and what planning you can do, and what optimizations you can do, and all of that stuff. Actually, I have a video planned for Saturday this week where I basically go over the shorthands that are often used in Black Mage discussion, because that is something that can make Black Mage look very scary, is that it feels like they're using alien words. When in reality, it's not that much more complicated discussion than any other job. It's just that because Black Mage uses so many actions, like spam of actions, and have like a lot of different plans, they discuss it more with shorthands. Where other job discussions might be less likely to do that. They do that, but they might be less likely to do it. And then we talk about some mechanics that Black Mages and other jobs deal with. And then I show off different, like, basic rotations. And then compare, and then show how you can juice it up. Like, how, like, show the basic rotation that is not hard, and then show you what you can do to make it crazy. Or what makes it complicated. That is the general overview. So look forward to it. And we're not doing big pulls anymore? That's also true as Metricon, but there are enough weird optimization tricks that when you start discussing them, it is nice to have the shorthands. But yeah, of course, it's also going to be, you know, person that basically mains Black Mage says, it's not that hard, Lamau. AF1, F3, GTA 5 lines. Splat. I should not have waited. Please come back. Yeah, it is definitely also a lot easier now that you don't have to worry about all the timing related tricks. The name just becomes a soup of letters. Yeah, so good news on that, Cat. For the most part, for the tricks that I'm showing, I'll have an image showing the actual actions being used for the tricks. Well, that's a sad tornado kick. Hey Rambo! Hope you're doing well. Says, how do you think a 14 Classic would be received if they went through the expansions again? I think I have a feeling that most players would play it when it is new and exotic. I have a feeling, due to how much of the old content is, you know, there, in the current version. Like, of course, it's all changed, and, you know, there's all of that. But I have a feeling that the interest in such a kind of content would be less interesting, simply because, like, the content is kind of there and playable still. But I know a lot of people would like to play, like, a 14 Classic just to experience how it was. So it could be really popular for, like, a month? Maybe a few months? And also that, there's probably some players really, really need, like, they need the 14 Classic. Not to play it. They need the 14 Classic so that they can finally figure out whether it was actually awesome. Or if it's because they just remember it way better than it was. Because that is the most difficult thing with this, is that some players are almost certainly like remembering it better than it actually was, because the brain has a tendency to do that. But there's probably also players that will actually be like, no, this is still awesome, actually. But the only way that you can get the answer on whether whether they just remember it cooler than it was, or if they actually remember it as awesome as it actually was, is by letting them have it. Which is why I'm saying it would be nice to at least have it, if only briefly. It would be good. Because some people kind of need it. And what I'm basically saying there is that there are probably some players that would learn to maybe appreciate the current version of 14 more. Perhaps. If they got to try the older versions again. Just as to have a comparison point. But yeah, as mentioned, the jobs are not there anymore. A lot of duties have been changed significantly. Like, there is a lot of 14 content that isn't there anymore. It's just, quote-unquote, there in spirit, almost. Or actually in there in the opposite of spirit. Because the duty is different. It's just wearing a hat saying that it's the same. If we're going to be super extreme about it. Jose, Sam, Cat, and Wallace. Hope you're doing well. Bruh. Oh. But yeah, I think it would... The problem I have with the possibility of 14 Classic is that I have a feeling that it's something that I think a lot of players have asked for, but may not be as interested in that as they say they are. So it might be a lot of effort for very little payoff. And you exactly know me. That's also my perspective on it, is that if Classic was there now, I would totally try it. Absolutely, I would try it. But I'm not super convinced that I would stick to it. Wallace says, while I don't think Classic would be popular, I'm always wary of saying it wouldn't be popular after the very famous Blizzard quote, you think you want it, but you don't. No, see, that's the key thing. That's the important thing, is that you can say whether you think it'll be popular or not. What you should avoid saying is, I don't think you want this. Like, I'm specifically saying, there are people that want this. But I think there is a possibility that they don't know what it is that they're signing up for. But they definitely want this. 100%. That's the key difference here. No, that is incorrect, Silly. Originally, the you think you want it but you don't quote was actually a response to Redshirt Guy saying, is there any possibility that you will ever have official, like, vanilla WoW servers? That was the original response. It had nothing to do with the no changes crowd. That is also why that is also why this response quote is so popular and so well known, is because Blizzard found out a little bit later that no, actually, players really wanted this. They walked it back. When they revealed Classic WoW, they even, like, referenced that quote again. It was like, oops. Anyway, there is something to be said that the no changes people did realize that there were some changes maybe once they had their hands on it. But that's a whole different story. Anyway, I will be right back. In the meantime, Manatee restored. Alright, I'm back. And yeah, there's also something additional to be added that I do believe if we check, like, data on 14, that compared to World of Warcraft vanilla, right? The amount of players playing Final Fantasy XIV 1.0 and 2.0, and I would almost say also 3.0, was not close to that amount. But I don't have any actual data to back that up. And if that is true, it would make sense that there would be less interest. Like, it's less nostalgia. But there's definitely a lot of people that never got to play these versions of the game that would like to see it, right? AK97, hope you're doing well. I think you did all right. The one thing where I was confused was there was that pack after the first boss where you did them. I believe you did a pack and then there was the next pack. Like you didn't do like the goblins. I was surprised you didn't pull them to the next bit, but that's like small stuff, right? You were great. You're perfectly fine. Don't you worry about it. But that was the one thing where I was like, huh. But some people forget that there's an additional pack after that. Oh, you just said that. I'll queue when it says 36. Yeah, I would say on the 14 Classic end, if they could run a server and it wasn't like too costly, I think it would be valuable to have. Like a little bit like how Guild Wars just runs Guild Wars 1 as well, and the story goes that the Guild Wars 1 servers take so little like computation power that it's just the Guild Wars 2 servers just run that too, and no problem. It's just like a blip on CPU kun, as it were. They don't mind. And then they've recently re-released it, by the way. And they reforged on Steam. So if they could offer that and it wasn't too costly, like they just added as something to do, I could absolutely see people go, oh well, there's not that much happening in the newest patch of 14. Let's see what this classic is about. Like it would be like a very convenient time to send it. Is like there's like that like bit of dead period from the final patch of an expansion until the next expansion, like around halfway through that, boom, 14 Classic. Enjoy. And exactly, Redmaster. I also played old school RuneScape, but a key thing, and that's also the reason why I mentioned that I think there was not as nearly as many players playing 2.0 and 3.0, is precisely because like I was interested in getting back into old school RuneScape because I played RuneScape back when that wasn't called old school. That was just what RuneScape looked like. So for me, it was coming back. I played vanilla World of Warcraft, so for me, it was coming back and actually getting to accomplish some things I never did when it was current. Whereas with 14, it's like, shrug, right? Unsoulbound says, I go back to Guild Wars every now and then since you don't have to pay per month. Yeah, that's actually the reason why I recently bought the Reforged package is because I own Guild Wars 1. I have collector's editions, I believe, of Nightfall and Factions. But I don't remember my password, or I'm not even sure about my email, and the chaos that is my account. I feel like if I opened the game on that, I would spend 10 minutes being like, I don't know where anything else is. I don't know what to do with all these items. My inventory is too full, and then just not do anything. Like, I would just end up not playing. So, like, it was actually nice to just open a fresh account. And then it's also easier to access on Steam, I feel like. But exactly because you can just open it at any time and just hang out of it. And it doesn't cost anything once you've bought it, of course. It was exactly why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that. Played a little bit the past few days. It's very nice. Like, basically, I saw it as a huge value purchase on Steam. I will queue when it says 55. Would they call it classic, or would they call it a Realm Reborn? They better call it a Realm Reborn. Kansas, I want to try Guild Wars again now. Oh. I'm just saying, just a fair warning is that It's jankier than you might remember if you played it. And it's jankier than you might expect if you haven't tried it. It's kind of janky, but it's all right. I think it's pretty fun. Yeah, I love jank. That's the spirit. I would also add, from the perspective of like playing something like Final Fantasy XIV, Guild Wars 1 gives you access to a lot of different kinds of actions that, like, from a 14 player is almost like clutches pearls. Like, what? You let the players have that? Are you insane? Like, I was playing a ranger, and I quickly realized that actions, that bow attack actions with cast times are superior to bow attacks without cast times. Because the ones without cast times basically say, on your next auto attack. So you're like, you click the button, and then it's like, yep, winding up the bow. Whereas if you click something with a cast time, your character just like almost animation canes their current attacks, you just go, boom. And, like, I was like, oh, that's amazing. It's not explained very well. Because they just say bow attack, and then some of them have cast times. Strymex says, what's the point of getting XP at level cap, Roulette? Level cap dungeons don't give XP. What do you mean, this one? Would you have preferred Bachman or the 15-minute Praetorium backfill I got? I think I would actually prefer Bachman because it gives me a chance to go again. You see it when you're on a non-capped job? That is funny. That is weird. Can I see it on Blue Mage? Huh? I don't know. Expert Roulette gives XP, guys. I don't know. I don't know. No, you're right, Stromex. I don't know. I think Sally is right that they just have like automatically set it so that if you're not max level, it replaces the tomes with XP. Ooh, Tower of Zod. And with an Elana healer, fantastic. Gaming. I think the tank is wearing... Is that Endwalker gear? Pretty sure that's like... high-level Endwalker gear. Okay, now this is gonna get confusing. I hate this! More? Please. Anytime, man. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Zerger. Hope you're doing well as well. Zerger. Swing, swang, swung. And kick! Wait, what did I take damage from? Was I tanking something? Stun! You see, the thing that confused me on the last pull was more that the tank stayed on the first pack for so long that I was just about to go, okay, well, I guess they're not moving to the next pack. I'm just gonna use my burst. I'm just gonna send it. I could see the dancer was like winding up the technical finish. And then the tank moved. Like that was what was going wrong. All had aggro on different mobs. Oh boy. That was a thunder, I believe. Ow. Hey, Haunted Mask. Hope you're doing well as well. Beholding the power of the minutia. Oh, yes. There's a fire. And an ice. Did he fires donuts? Yep. I should have used six-sided star there. Kill the boss first. Haha! No fear, just kill the boss, Lavau. Yeah, that is weird, actually, Exodia. That for some reason the NPCs still keep, some of them still keep actions that are like it's not because it was there when it was current. They just like, it's just still there. Well, this pack is getting destroyed. Have a 2-minute burst, kaboom! You took the vuln but not the damage? Yes. Planned. That's true, K97. They have this thing where they get like, well, to be fair, sometimes it is like it's because their job, while it looks vaguely like the job you have, it isn't the job you have for various reasons. And sometimes it's also just to explain how their job works different. But it is funny. Loot. You know, I just remembered that I have had Mantra this whole time, which then makes me think in that 012N run where there was a lot of problems, I didn't even use Mantra. I don't know if it would have helped, but now it does make me feel a little bit bad that I didn't even use it. Hey Connie! Hope you're doing well. Manusha Berserk! Anusha, stop! Ah. I look exactly what I would look like if I got suddenly time stopped. Yeah. Record scratch. Yep. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Probably wondering how I got here. In this party, we're very good at finishing the bosses, like, just late enough that I have to be like, I'm not gonna 2-minute burst because the boss is gonna die. Now, you're probably wondering how I got here. That is an interesting one, BB. Another interesting one is also that Urianger can use Doom. Like, if the fight goes on for long enough, he'll straight up just use Doom on an enemy, just... Urianger has an enrage? Yeah, exactly! He basically, like... Actually, a lot of the, like, duty support NPCs have pseudo enrages. Like, I have explained, I have told you, probably mentioned this one many times on stream in the past, but like the low level duty support, like the Marauder, Thaumaturge, Lancer combo, they just like sit there doing filler rotations, and then after a certain amount of time has passed, the Marauder just uses Berserk but a very special kind of berserk that doesn't have a duration. Or stacks. And the Lancer will just pull out a full thrust with life surge on it. Just out of nowhere. Which is important because it'll do that in... the Lancer will do that in Sastasha, where they don't have full thrust. And the Thaumaturge will use a Thundercloud boosted Thunder 1. That also hits like a boss. Again, Thundercloud was like level 28. So they don't have those buttons, but they'll use them if they feel like the mob is taking too long. That is an interesting one. I have heard that Thancred will not use any cartridges and stuff if he doesn't have Reen or Y'shtola. But I didn't know that it didn't actually mean anything. Exactly, Asymmetricon. This is also that's also the reason why if you try to farm something with duty support, a lot of the time it'll feel like it doesn't really matter what you do. I remember when I was spamming duty support, I think it was back in Shadowbringers, I could break my back as a tank, turboing as fast as I possibly could to push it through Malika's well or something. And it would take 25 minutes, I think. But if I just took it casually, just relaxed, it would take 30. I don't remember the numbers exactly, so you might be able to add or subtract 5 minutes from both numbers. But point being that because the NPCs almost wind up their DPS, you rushing and AoEing as hard as you can doesn't do that much in the grand scheme of things. It basically inverted Hardened Rages in a way. Hey Volvian! Hope you're doing well. Hey Seraph. Hope you're doing well. I actually... Didn't you come in earlier? Well, you get a double hello then. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're doing extra well, I guess. Boop. I will queue when it says 57. Lana says, didn't pay attention all along, but at the end, the tank were going from no mitigation to splat all at once. Oh, we love it when that happens. Oh, right, I do have mitigation. A really random tip for that boss, by the way, at the end, is that at least as far as I recall from my testing, you can hurt the bosses as much as you like. If you kill the first and second bosses before the final boss, like the chunky one, at certain points in the fight, she will just rest the one you killed with half HP. But you can hurt them. So, like, for instance, a healer could absolutely just maintain dots on all three for free damage. As long as you don't kill them, it should be fine. I have, like, something that I feel... I don't think I tested it properly, but there's something telling me that I believe that there's a possibility that they heal if they go on under half HP, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Oh, nice. The summoner knows what's up. I'm gonna punch ya. I have ran out of tea. So now we must punch. Stun! I will pull... I'll pull. I'll pull! I'll Q when it says 04. Personally, I think the final boss in Tower of Zod would be cooler if you could kill them in any order. But all three of them were, you know, like, relatively speaking, tankier. Like, the chunky one was a little squishy and the other two was tankier to compensate. But that the order you killed them in had some impact on mechanics. I think that would be cooler. Also, hey LTC, hope you're doing well. Oh, again! Hey, Amaye! Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the Prime. Amaye! People really have problems with getting the turtle properly into the herb patch today. I will queue when it says 00. But yeah, exactly that. It would be cooler if they did it like that, where the one that like that instead of it being like, so the way that the final boss in Tower of Sod works is that when you kill the chunky one, the tall one gets the ability to do its Minutia Confuse. So technically they do have this feature where they gradually access their abilities. I believe if you let the small one live for long enough, it might actually do its like its big mechanic when you fight it normally. But the reason why groups typically kill them in the order from, of course, the tall one first and then the short one, is because Minutia Confuse wastes more time. If it gets to that. Exactly. Berserk Orbs is, I believe that is the Minutia Confuse. That is exactly the problem. GVC says, I don't know which other games, if any, they appear in, but in 10, I think it's the chunkier Magus sister who's the healer there too. I don't know if Aradel is in the middle of gaming something, but I think Aradel would know. Exactly which game it was and how they work. The Magus sisters, Aradel. Which one does what and what game are they from? It's okay if you don't know, but usually you know these things. Sylvia says 4 and 10. Also, hey Sylvia, hope you're doing well. Olvian says 4 and possibly 6. Chong, your sister wears reflect from the tall one for Delta attack. Yeah, indeed, the Delta attack, and I believe it's something like, isn't it the short one casts a spell on the chunky one to reflect for the Delta attack or something like that? Yeah, I know, Zerger. Actually, council bosses is exactly it's a term that I believe is commonly referenced back to WoW. Is a council boss fight is a boss fight where there are usually 3 or more bosses on the field. They may introduce themselves one at a time or in pairs or whatever, but eventually they're all on the field, and the order that you kill them in matters. And it's like the telltale signs of a council boss. Also, there's also one that can resurrect, so... Yeah, exactly. The chunky one is usually the one that can rest. Exactly. Well, it is chunky. We could also call it Chunkus if you want. I don't remember their names. And if I refer to them as their names, there would probably be someone going, which one is that? But everyone knows what the chunky one is. Values? Values? Hope you're doing well. Cindy, Mindy, and Sandy. Yeah, exactly. Isn't Sandy the tall one? Right. Mindy is the short one, if I remember right. Sandy is the tall one, and Cindy is the chunkus. Fantastic. Yeah, at least in 14, Silva, they're called Mindruva, Sandruva, and Cinderuva. Guys, we may have been robbed of a mentor roulette queue. It would be nice with a council fight. As is tradition, complain and ye shall receive. In before Solemn Trinity or an extreme. Adel says, since this was a Final Fantasy IX expansion, I'd hoped we could fight the Black Waltz as a council fight. There is still a chance. There's still a chance. It could happen, Adel. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. There is a chance. Bro. That time was someone that actually just clicked no. And it is Shiva Extreme. Well, I think it's Kiwi Crusher and Shaq on the DPS. How many people do you reckon I need to find for Endwalker Extreme Trials Unsynced? It depends on the Extreme Trial. Some of the later ones may require a full party. I would say both Golbus and Ceromos requires a full party, because for both of them, you either need a full party to deal with the mechanic, or you need a full party to skip the mechanic. But I think Rubicante, you might be able to get away with less. You might be able to get away with less on Babarici, I'm not sure. Steph. Oh, that tank's gonna get hurt. Sword. Yep. The Mentor tank knows what's up, so we should be fine. I'll say still team. Hope you're doing well. Here comes the sword. Oh, the Glacier Bash. Oh, only the tanks got hit. That is nice. Very good. Seven people for Seed of Sacrifice and it was mega overkill. Like, the problem with Seed of Sacrifice Extreme is exactly that. You kind of need like you basically need 7 or 8 people to skip the intermission. But if you can't skip the intermission, then you will die. That was the mentor tank giving a warning to get behind the boss when she pulls out the bow. Not a bad shout to mention. Yeah, that's correct, discount support. The problem is that you need to kill him that fast to be sure that you skip the intermission. Like, literally, he does like one mechanic and then there's an HP threshold for the intermission. And if you can't stop him, then you need a tank LB3, which you will not have if you don't have a full light party. Or a full party, sorry. So that is like about 35 seconds. Sounds a little extreme, but it's not incorrect. Wow. That looks like that was 4 first-timers as well. Nice. Nice. It basically works like that on both versions, discount support. That Warrior of Light will fight you until he hits a specific HP threshold, after which he will try to intermission. And on Extreme, to skip that, like, there are ways to survive it with like rest cheese. But if you don't have a full party, you don't have a tank LB3. And if you don't have a tank LB3, you can't survive it. So you basically have to skip or have a full party with a tank. But you can absolutely skip it. I believe in the first raid tier of Dawntrail, we did the mount farm on stream. And we had a full party, just a balanced full party, because it makes the meteor drops more predictable. And we quite consistently skipped the whole thing with just a regular balanced party. Now, with like potentially 60 item levels more per person, yeah, like it might make sense to just bring like a tank and 7 DPS and just destroy him before he can do anything. I can't remember, does he do the Doom and 1 HP thing on Extreme? Because if he doesn't, then that's absolutely the move. If he does, then you probably need a healer to just burst heal everyone. We had a sage to fix the doom. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. We're talking about the Seed of Sacrifice extreme ramp. But yeah, among the Endwalker extremes... So, around the start of Dawntrail, like, super start of Dawntrail, I ran into the problem that I hadn't actually completed any of the Endwalker extremes in Endwalker. So I couldn't do Mental Roulette. So I just, on a whim, on the Discord server, community Discord, I just was like, I'm gonna do the extremes so that I can unlock the Mental Roulette. Anyone wanna join me? And then gradually throughout the evening, people came in, which meant that for Zodiac, well, EX1, it took us I think we were 5, and then EX2, I think we were 6, and was no problem. It was a little difficult, mildly difficult, but it was no problem. And then by EX3, we were a full party. And then, it wasn't a problem until we hit Golbis. There, I believe we actually wiped a bit. And we wiped multiple times on Zeromus, because the meteors, man. The meteors, man. Say, Muffin. Hope you're doing well. Anyway, despite the queue times, we got 14 duties tonight. As monk, what I'm gonna try is over the next several weeks is that I will gradually fix the gear on the jobs that I haven't done a Mental Roulette on in a while, and then we'll do each one, because it's been a long time since I've actually done Mental Roulettes on each job. Thank you, Cat. So maybe next week we'll do some Samurai, I think. But for a quick summary, we got one... Was it just one? One level 100 dungeon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guild tests. 1, 2, 3... normal raids. 2 extremes. And 1 leveling dungeon. And... sorry, 1 leveling dungeon and 1 high level dungeon. Out of 14. So about half of them was still guild test. Graham says someday I'll be here for live Under the Armor. Did you miss that? There was an Under the Armor duty 10. And yeah, the O12N is going to take up it's going to be interesting for the video. Strangely, the extreme duties are just going to be Whelp, Shrug, nailed it. And then you have a normal raid that actually pulled teeth. Anyway. Also, hey, Stonium. Hope you're doing well. Feels like it's been a bit. But, that said, if you would like to be part of the Discord community server, I'm just putting another link. There's a link right there in the chat. There you'll find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is coming up in the coming days, and usually updated Sunday or Monday. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams, and I put them out. And if you grab the reminder roll and then in the role assignments room, you'll get a notification whenever I post a video or stream. As well as the next one around 15 minutes before stream starts. You can catch it right when we go live. And if you'd like to support the channel even more directly, you can follow, you can subscribe, you can like, you can become a member, you can super chat, you can cheer, you can do all that goodness. And if you don't like any of that, there's a Ko-Fi link that I'll post it right there in the chat. It all helps support me and the channel directly, so I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you. So thank you so much for the support. But that will be it from me tonight. I think we'll go and see if we can raid someone over on the Twitch side. But that said, good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where in the world, and hope to see you all very soon. Bye bye!